Time now for an in-depth look at the market news, and for that I'm joined on the line by Mr. Daniel Yu, global strategist at Yuanta Securities. Mr. Yu, thank you for coming on today.
Thank you for having me today.
Well, there are signs here and there in the U.S. that the spread of COVID-19 might be slowing down. In that sense, stocks soaring yesterday on Wall Street, up more than 7% across the board. What's the story in the global markets today?
Yes, as you said, U.S. stock index futures rose in early Asian trading on Tuesday as the rate of new coronavirus infection appears to slow in U.S. New York's Governor Cuomo said on Monday that the data suggested that the spread of the virus in New York is nearing its peak, following a second straight day without a large rise in new deaths. Clearly, this is really putting a good news to the market, affecting the Dow Jones surged by 7.7% yesterday. S&P 500 soared 7%. Nasdaq jumped 7.3%. Quite surprisingly, that trend is continuing. Right now, the futures market of U.S. is rising by more than 2% for S&P and Nasdaq at this point. Clearly, this has impacted positively to the Asian markets. In the beginning of today's trading, Korean market did show some corrections, but towards the end of the trading day, it rose again. Kospi was up 1.7%, Kosdaq was up 1.6%. Clearly, the futures market rising has benefited. The signals that the corona impact is probably declining, that has a positive implication for the global equity market.
Right, and as we heard just a minute ago, Samsung Electronics and LG beat market expectations with their earnings for the first quarter. And despite the coronavirus outbreaks, profits were better than they were in the first quarter last year. What do you make of Samsung's strategy to get through all this? And what was the reaction on the stock market?
I think that the corporate image for Samsung is rising quite rapidly. You already know that the retail investors are buying Samsung Electronics quite heavily. And also with this corona incident, Samsung has helped small, medium-sized companies in terms of the production related to the mask for the protection. And some of these small, mid-cap companies were increasing their production by 50% plus due to the Samsung's help in regards to the mass production. So that is putting positive implication for the sentiment and the corporate image for Samsung. As for the earnings numbers and the sales number, it is coming in much better than expected. Clearly, this is showing that quite significant demand is happening in regards to the DRAM side because of the work from home and online gaming and e-commerce are rising quite rapidly due to the coronavirus impact. Clearly, 60% plus of the operating profits come from the DRAM side. And despite all the concerns of the handsets as well as electric goods, sales numbers are going down by more than 20% plus. The DRAM strong price and also the heavy shipment increases on this is benefiting Samsung Electronics. So clearly, Korean companies in regards to the electronic goods are gaining market share, and that is definitely positive news. We think that second quarter numbers are going to be struggle because of the significant drop of the handset sales or electric goods sales because of the shutdowns and the supply chain might be having some difficulties. But nevertheless, we think that the trend of the structural change that is happening in regards to the online and e-commerce will benefit Samsung. And clearly the corporate image as well as the global market share should be rising further. And therefore, that would benefit the Kospi as well as the Korean equity market.
And briefly, Mr. Yu, Korea has posted a current account surplus in February. That's a trade figure there, and but it's too soon to say that this is a positive sign or that everything's going well, correct?
Sure. The numbers are coming in good because of the service account deficit narrowed because, Korean people are not really traveling to overseas because of the coronavirus impact. But also there's some positive news that the goods account surplus is actually widening because of these exports are doing much better. Due to the coronavirus impact, the sales regarding the mask as well as the sanitizers and all these are rising quite rapidly, as well as the DRAM-related segment. So we have to watch and see how significant drop is happening in regards to other products export-related, but also how that will be covered by some of these rises from the new products. So we'll watch and see how that plays out. But in any case, one thing for sure is that Korea's GDP decline will be relatively less than the other countries because of the coronavirus impact, which will be benefiting overall for the Korea's economic growth rate as well as the equity market trend.
Very interesting. All right, let's leave it there for today, Mr. Yu. Thanks so much for sharing your insights.
Thank you very much.